Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Chaos, and welcome to my Shugoki reworked video. Real quick, if you guys do not know, I am the first Rep 90 Shugoki, as well as I have 600 hours in him. So, I wanted to say really quick, if you guys have any, changes you would do, please tell me, what, if you agree with me on this, if there's anything, you would tweak, if something's too high damage, too low, because, I kind of just threw this together, so hopefully it'll be fun for you guys to watch. If you guys do, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, share this around, subscribe if you're new here, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so what we're going to do first is we're going to mess with the base changes that's going to mess with Shugoki's original kit first. So first of all, Demon's Embrace. Demon's Embrace will no longer heal. Instead, it's going to do just a base 30 damage. And Headbutt, counts as side dodge headbutt and forward headbutt, are now going to be going down to 5 damage and deals 10 stam damage. Those will make sense later, the stam damage. So, his heavies are originally 24 damage and 27 respectively, except top heavy is 27 and 30 respectively. The heavies are now changed where the side heavies will be 20 damage and the charge side heavies will be 24. And the top will obviously be 24 to 27. Oni Sprint, his running ability, I might have gotten the name wrong. It now uses 25% less stamina to use. That will also make sense later too. Now, Demon Ball, that is, if you don't know Demon Ball, that's when he guard breaks you and he baseball bats you away. That will now cause wall splat, but it will only do 15 damage. So those were the base changes. I didn't want to change too much because I want Shugoki to still have, how he played right now, but with obviously less damage so he didn't feel as no-skilled if somebody was just going to sit there and not use the new mode. So the new mode is now called Sumo Mode. And in Sumo Mode, his light attacks are now palm strikes. So he puts his weapon away and he's only using his hands in this mainly. So the sides will be quick palm smacks, so it'll quickly kind of just smack you. And the top will be a chop. The top will be 11 damage while the sides will be 9. So his heavies are side palm chops. And he has variable time still in these to keep his his variable time with his character. But the normal heavy will be 15 damage, while a charge will, first of all, add a displacer to it, so it will be like a Yorm charge heavy, where you'll go flying to the side and be able to hit a wall. But those do 20 damage. Now, when he does his top charge, that is different. So his top charge is now a double palm grab. More like how Shinobi uses has that unblockable grab. And when he grabs you, you immediately lose 20 stam. And then he will, after he puts you on your knees, kind of like how Shinobi does it, he will smack you on both sides of your head. And this will do 25 damage. Now, if you are out of stamina, though, it will do 35 damage. So the next move I added was I wanted to add in a move that worked with his, Oni Rush sprint ability. So it is now called Oni Tackle. So Oni Tackle can only be used when he's sprinting, and you must sprint a certain duration before. So when he starts sprinting, you'll know when you can do it because he will have fire on his feet. Because the move will be a shoulder charge that deals 30 stamina damage. It does no damage whatsoever at the start, and it will knock them away as if you hit them with Demon Ball. But it only can hit one person. It's going to be like a mixture of hitting Demon Ball with, kind of like a conch charge mixed with a Raider charge going the distance of Demon Ball. And if you hit the wall with it, if you wall splat, you will take 20 damage and cause a wall splat. So it would be very dangerous to to hit a wall with this. So the last change I kind of added in terms of the sumo mode before we get into the other parts of the kit are, so for the base kit, headbutt can only be used as forward headbutt. He has no more side dodge headbutt in the sumo mode. And the forward headbutt now gets a secondary bash. So if he hits you with a headbutt, he's allowed to immediately, press X and do another bash, which is now a palm strike, kind of like Tiandi's, but instead of doing damage, it takes away 15 stamina. So now, if you haven't figured out by now, I've kind of reincorporated the whole stam punishment style with this. And so for his parry punishes now, when he is, because Shugoki right now has really no good parry punishes besides like light parrying into hug. That will obviously stay. But on parry punishes in his sumo mode, which is kind of what he's meant for, is to kind of be a wall in a way, as well as to kind of just mess with his opponent, break their stam down, and then hit really hard. So with his parry punishes, on parry now, he has a singular palm smack that will deal 5 damage and 15 stamina. And then the next thing I wanted to give him was something a little interesting. So, like how Yorm and Scent have their smackdown abilities when you're knocked down on the ground, Shugoki will now have this. Except you will not be able to do this from really far away. This will be more of a move you would use when you're right up on your opponent off of, like a parry punish where they fall down. So now it's a ground stomp where he will step on their chest and it will deal 20 damage. Alright, so now we're on to the moves that switch the mode. So for the first one, when he is in his base form, holding his Kanabo and he zones, he now puts away the Kanabo and does a palm swipe. And it has no hyper armor on this. And it still does the same damage, 13 damage as a Shugoki zone normally. And if he's in sumo mode and he uses a zone, he pulls out the Kanabo and does the same one he has right now, with hyper armor, obviously. And the next thing is now the new side dodge attack in sumo mode. So obviously, because base mode can still use side dodge headbutt going into palm strike, activating sumo mode, I figured why not make a side dodge attack that switches from his sumo mode to his normal mode. So he now has a side dodge heavy that is unblockable. I figured because it's a big Kanabo. It only does 15 damage though, and it will switch you from sumo mode to his normal hyper mode. And the last thing I have here for his, sumo mode is to activate sumo mode from neutral is just press the full guard button. Essentially, if you guys don't know, if you're on console and you push the analog stick towards you, you'll activate full guard. Well, with this one, you'll do that and he will put his weapon away, but he will have a slight delay, so if you're not careful and you do it mid-match, you can still get hit while changing around. And within a certain amount of time, it'll cancel it. So I don't know if I had stated this before. If I did, I'm sorry, but Demon's Embrace will now have a special execution on kill, where you will throw them on the ground and then he will stomp on their chest, healing them for 20 health. If you don't know, the 20 health is obviously what Demon's Embrace kind of healed them for before. It was like 10 or 20. So it wouldn't really be something that you would want to use as, I'm going to use this to get a bunch of health. It would be something as, I get a little bit of health and kind of just, it's just kind of a little bit of a bonus because execution gives health. Alright, so we're on to the feats. I only changed 1 feat each. I could change more, but I only kind of did one just so I could, change something and see how well it would do. So first of all, for what would replace Speed Revive would be called Oni's Resolve. This is just a passive where anytime Shugoki would parry, he would gain 10 stamina. So this would just keep him in the fight, keep him able to swing for longer and all that. So for his second one now, this one will replace the Smoke Bomb ability. Because Smoke Bomb's just terrible. I'm going to be honest, I don't use it. I don't know of any Shugoki that really uses Smoke Bomb. This just doesn't need to be on the character. So this one is now changing to an active ability called Sumo Palm. Sumo Palm is now a quick palm strike that displaces the enemy back, so it can, if you're near a wall, you can cause a wall splat, allowing you to capitalize on, on a hug. It deals 30 stam and guarantees a base heavy. But it counts, it won't, you can't use it and then use a hyper heavy. It's a sumo heavy. So it will automatically activate sumo mode when you use it. So you essentially only do about 15 damage with it. So this next one is going to be replacing punch through because it's not that much used of ability. I was going to originally place the bow, and then I remembered punch through wasn't used. But it's an active ability called Fear the Oni. And when it is used for 30 seconds, any damage Shugoki does, remember he has a lot of reduced damage, he will be healing for 10% of it, and he will be giving a 20% damage debuff to whoever he hits. I did this because I didn't want to have another like Fear itself thing where you just pop it and then you can stand around somebody and gain value. He actually has to be actively fighting for this to really work. So for the fourth feat, I wanted to kind of go as an old throwback to something that was so powerful, but I feel would be okay as a, a one-time thing on a 3-minute cooldown. And some of you guys can already guess this, but the move that would be replacing Aerostorm would be named Oni's Fury. And Oni's Fury is a hyper armor hug that will one-shot your opponent and auto-execute them. And it has no tracking to it, so you cannot just throw this ability and think it's going to work. You would have to light parry somebody or wall splat. That is why Shugoki's new kit is all about, kind of wall splatting, punishing his opponent. It builds up as an overtime thing that his fourth feat can just obliterate him if need be. And that's the rework, guys. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the comments below, or your thoughts on it. If there's anything you would like to change, I obviously could have missed something. I sat here for an hour and just was kind of throwing off ideas, tried to balance them. Maybe, it might be balanced, it might be, total crap, it might be overpowered as all heck, but I just hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, share this around, subscribe if you're new here. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Have a good day, and God bless.